Several stakeholders attended the launch of the two-day Climate Smart workshop held under the theme Climate Change Matters, the who, what, why, where, and when in one day. Director of Climate Studies Group Pomona, Michael Taylor, expounded on the State of the Caribbean Climate Report funded by the Caribbean Development Bank that was introduced at the Climate Smart workshop.
One of the things that the Caribbean suffers from is when you want your climate information, where do you go? Is there a one-stop place that you can go and find the information? And I suspect many of us will Google, and we will Google various words and that kind of thing. We're trying to fill a deficit that here is a first stop where you can go and you can get the kind of information that you need. We're not saying it's the only report, but one of the things the report will do is point you to other places where you can find other information.
Taylor, who is also the Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology at the University of the West Indies, urged that Caribbean nationals take climate change very seriously. Taylor highlighted that in the Caribbean region, the climate is becoming increasingly hotter while rainfall regimes are constantly changing. He added that sea levels are rising and extreme events like hurricanes and tropical storms are becoming more common, hinting at the recent devastating Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas. Taylor expounded how climate change can impact Guyana and the Caribbean at large.
Climate is impacting us. There is a significant, immediate, devastating effect of something like a hurricane or a flood. And that has effects right across our society, both in terms of damage to infrastructure, including health infrastructure, electricity infrastructure, roadways, that kind of thing. And of course, it costs your economy quite a lot. So you're always having now to spend money to recover from those immediate effects. You can put those effects in any sector. So the health sector, suddenly there's a greater demand for services in those kinds of immediate devastating impacts. The education sector, the disruption of schools, the stress that our teachers and students are under, and you can, agriculture, destruction of crops, loss of crops.
Program Manager of the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, Dr. Ives Persona, stated that the CDB is working with the Office of Climate Change to develop a resilience policy and strategy, which is almost completed. Persona went on to stress the importance of resilience for climate change, since between 1950 to 2019, hurricanes, tropical storms, and floods resulted in catastrophic losses in the region.
Caused 477 disasters in the Caribbean, with an estimated loss and damage of about $122 billion and more than actually 23,000 people died from disasters, and more than 14 million people actually affected by disasters. Given this context, you understand that it is critical to develop and implement policies and programs that are directed at building resilience in the Caribbean.
I'm Mel Griffith reporting for HGP Nightly News.